It's an emergency that we step up and deal with this axis of evil China, Russia, Iran, because it's an immediate threat to the United States, and he's right. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell making those statements Sunday on 60 on Fox News Sunday as the war between Israel and Hamas continues. So what do we know about the goals of these countries in the brand new so-called axis of evil that you see right there? Let's talk to former CIA Saint Station Chief Dan Hoffman, screen upper left, China expert and decisive decade, author Dr. Jonathan Ward, screen right in the corner, and Iran conflict expert and SVP of research at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies. Jonathan Schanzer, guys, good morning to you. Good morning. Dan? Let's start with you. You say ultimately, Russia needs China, so that's what links them. Yeah, I think the Russia's war in Ukraine, their failed war, where they've spilled so much blood and treasure, has really been a force multiplier, for bringing them closer to China, because they're dependent upon China to export their oil into Iran, because they're dependent upon Iran for drones, and let's add North Korea, as Brian mentioned, to the axis of evil, because Russia needs their artillery. So we're seeing Russia in a very subservient position, a weakened position. Vladimir Putin is weaker now than he's ever been, and his regime security more perilous than it's ever been. And that's why he has to rely on that the rest of the members of that axis of evil. Indeed, and Dr. Ward. During the Reagan years, he would refer to the evil empire referring to Russia, which we've been discussing, but now it's branching out now. We got China to worry about, sure, and China's always been there. And the Communist Party of China has finally found its moment. They've always envisioned surpassing the United States, eventually taking us on in geopolitical conflict. They've built a military in this case. Been there, and the Communist Party. That's designed for combat with the US and the Pacific, but bottom line, it's their economy that underwrites Putin's war in Ukraine. I mean, they're his chief economic backer, and by the way, they signed a memorandum with Iran in 2020 to invest $400 billion in their, different strategic industries over a 25-year period, so their economy can basically bankroll all of America's adversaries running their own regional strategies. And yet the US is still investing in China. Our businesses are still there. We're still pouring pension fund money in there. We're still giving them technology. So until we go ahead with economic containment of China, we're going to see all of these different countries advance on each of these fronts. And Jonathan, while so many people are freaking out about the potential of getting into a war with Iran, you say, hold the phone. I think Iran. Iran is the weak link here. They could get a lot stronger, of course, if they're able to make a dash to a bomb, which is why I think there needs to be a top-down review right now in the Biden administration on how to deal with the Iranian threat. We need to stop providing sanctions relief. We need to stop engaging with them as possible partners. They need to pay a price for what they've done in the sponsorship of Hamas and Hezbollah. But they are the weaker party here, and they can be pulled away from the broader axis if we play our cards right. Exactly, and a lot of people were talking over the weekend about China and the threat. And a lot of people were talking. Five Eyes is a coalition of intel leaders from the United States, Canada, UK, Australia, and New Zealand. They gathered, and here they are from 60 Minutes talking a little bit about China and the spy threat. China represents the defining threat of this generation. The behavior we're talking about here goes well beyond on traditional espionage academic research in our universities. It's about promising startup companies, acquisition of land, stealing innovation, or intellectual property. That's not just a Wall Street problem. That's a Main Street problem. It is a Main Street problem. So let's go, Dan. We'll start with you. You have retired from the spy business, but they're absolutely right. They are, and it's a resource problem for the United States. Look at all the competing challenges that we face here in the United States. The FBI has to deal with terrorist threats, with counterintelligence threats from Russia, among other nations, and China is flooding the zone with just full throttled espionage attacks on us in cyberspace and seeking to gather human sources with access to protected information. Let's not forget they're buying up our land. They're seeking to entice us academicians to study in China and share their secrets. And they're ripping off our intellectual property. I agree with Director Ray. This is the most significant challenge that we face from our national security, Dr. Ward. I'll give you 30 seconds, right? And the director said that there are roughly 2,000 cases related to the People's Republic of China at the FBI alone, so it defs everything else. Going on, but it goes across our entire commercial sector, all of our strategic industries, all of our key technologies, and I think we have to hit them on the commercialization of stolen technology. We have to hit them on if we know that they've stolen technology from the US or the Allies, they should not be able to sell that. We should go after the companies that have done it and just take them out. The problem is to actually make stuff in China. You got to give them the plans, next thing you know. Jonathan, they've got your secrets, that's right. That's how that's right, and they do. And that's been their game plan. What I would just say here is two things. One, we have to learn how to walk and chew gum. How to walk and chew gum we need to. We need to defend our allies around the world as they come under attack, while also tackling the China threat. But also remember there is a weak link here that we see in China. Their economy is not as strong as they think it is. It is their soft underbelly, and I think there is an opportunity here for an economic warfare campaign by the United States and our allies to be able to counter what China is trying to mount. All right. Jonathan, Dan, thanks guys for joining us. I'm Steve, Ducey, I'm Brian, Kill Me, and I'm Angly. Art, and click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.